Hi, everyone. Welcome. Today I'm talking to Sue, who is a wonderful student of mine that started my program in May of 2018. And during that short half year, I guess, what is it, 7, 8 months until this point, she worked very hard. She was super focused. She learned the ins and outs of publishing fiction, and she has had amazing results. So in December, Sue made over $19,000 revenue from her Kindle publishing. And that was with what, 9 or 10 books, Sue?
It was 9 books, yes.
And a couple of those are box sets, right?
One box set.
One box set, okay. So congratulations on your success so far. We've gotten to know each other quite a bit, and so I've seen her discipline and her dedication to this and her focus, and it's super inspiring, and I'm so proud of her and the growth that she's had in such a short period of time. So let's just get talking about a few different things. Let's look back to about a year ago. So before you jumped into my program, Fiction Profits Academy, what was your life look like then? What were you doing? And what was your inspiration and motivation to get into Kindle publishing?
So 1 year before I took your program, I was studying. I was doing my master's program, and I was enjoying it. But and it was a really good career prospect. I knew what I wanted to do when I graduated. But my final semester, actually, I started um, doing what I genuinely really enjoy, and it's kind of like a means of escape for me. So I love to write, and so my final semester, I finally wrote a book that was an actual. I learned story arc and all of those things that I didn't know before. I always enjoyed writing, but I never looked at it as something that I want to do to make money. So even at that point, I was still looking to just get better at writing. So I didn't publish that book or anything, but that was the beginning of me trying to find out what I want to do with writing and how I want to proceed and everything. And so when I did graduate, I was like, maybe I don't want to get a job. Maybe I want to make money with my writing. And that's how I found your program. Um, and it just seemed like a good fit. Honestly, after I spoke to you, it was it just became more clear to me that this is definitely what I wanted to do. I have that kind of assurance that obviously there are no guarantees whatsoever. I could only follow the process and the blueprint that you gave me, but at least I had that, and that was incredibly important and valuable in at that point in my career when I had no idea how to make money with my hobby. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, awesome. And what were you studying in college for your master's?
Computer science. It's completely
Oh,
different.
wow. Oh,
Yeah,
wow, crazy.
yeah.
Wow, to go from computer science to novelist. I love it. That's awesome. So we both know that success doesn't come overnight, and that you've had some ups and downs and encountered obstacles along the way. So what did your path look like to earning a full-time income from publishing your books? And just talk about what kind of challenges did come up along the way while you were going through this whole process.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody has access to the same information, the same blueprint, the same process that you followed, that so many other people have followed to get where they are today. But it's just the little details that matter with everyone, and that's basically, I think, the difference between those who do well and those who kind of get stuck or it takes them longer to get wherever. I think, okay, so for me, it did happen relatively fast, but I think it could have been even faster if I had learned in my first month that I'm just going to have to completely 100% let go of my own um, preferences and ways of doing things, ways of presenting my product, which is my book. And so if I had let go of that very early on, it would have been even faster. But I think that was a very crucial part of the process. And it took me a few books to realize that no, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I could improve on doing more of the market research that
Mhm.
we all learn in this program, and it's very essential. Like even if it's not this program, it's very important to know who your market is, who your audience is, and just letting go of your own preferences. I
Yes.
think
Mhm.
that at this point I've realized that it's kind of I mean, obviously you should write what you're passionate about, and writing is different than marketing in my opinion. But when you're marketing and you're just like doing whatever you want to do, it's kind of egotistical to think that you can do whatever you want to do and people are still going to want to buy something from you. It doesn't work that way.
Right. There's the importance of writing and publishing books to market
Yes.
and studying what's trending and give people what they want. So there is an audience waiting there for you. So you have to just go in, research, find out exactly what that audience wants, and give it to them.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's funny because it sounds so simple, but it's really not when there's like your own preferences and opinions and ego and all that stuff involved, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. And so that was your biggest challenge is just getting over that and just starting to surrender basically to the demands of the market.
I think my biggest challenge was realizing that I was doing that. I had no idea that I was doing that. I just thought that, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that experience plays a big role. And so that's why success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to realize the things that you're doing wrong. But fortunately, because I was so committed to what I was doing, like I just went out of my way to make sure that I was doing everything right. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just made that extra effort to figure out what I was doing wrong. And
Yes,
that's exactly the reason why it doesn't happen overnight. It just
for
takes time
sure.
like that.
And I think what happened with you, you failed fast. Like you had some failures quick, and then you identified quickly, you looked at it and you said, okay, what went wrong here? And then you made tweaks immediately instead
Yes.
of delaying that process over a longer period of time. Because, yeah, I saw the ups and downs that you went through and the stumbles, but you were just so persistent and so focused on figuring it out and like getting things right that you found success because you didn't give up, right? And so now you earn quote unquote full-time income from your publishing. Your revenue was 19,000 in December. I don't know if you want to share how much of that was profit, how much of it was expense, as far as your
So,
as far as your ads go and stuff in December.
so everything after all expenses, ad spend, it was 50% profit, which is around 10,000 in profit for
Amazing.
December.
Yeah,
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, it's pretty good. I just feel like I'm not gonna be paying myself for a few more months. So
You're
I
just
still want,
reinvesting.
yeah, I'm just gonna be reinvesting until May. I think that's kind of what my timeline looks like. But
Cool.
with this line of work, like things just snowball really quickly. So I don't
Yes.
know if I'm gonna be able to start paying myself. But for me, my goal is just to really blow it up and like really make it grow it a lot. And so for that to happen, I'm just gonna have to keep investing in it.
Yeah,
And
I love it. Because you're treating this like a real business.
so I don't plan on paying myself until May or even a little bit after that. It doesn't bother me. I just want to like focus on growing it at this point. But
Yes.
yes, per month, like for the month of December, 10% was, I mean, 50% was technically profit, but I'm going to be reinvesting it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Um, okay, what else do I have for you here? Um, okay, so now what does your typical day look like? And we were talking before we started recording this this video that you're feeling like you have a lot of free time and it's making you a little nervous because you're like, I should be working.
Like, what do I do with this?
When you
Um,
first start out, of course, you're so focused on learning, like everything takes longer and it just seems way more laborious when you're first starting out the process. But now you are starting to really have a grasp of the process and the 80-20 behind the process. So the small number of things you do that have the biggest impact. And so what does your day look like now? What are you doing?
I wake up without an alarm, which is amazing, and I never set an alarm. It's pretty good.
Ah, nice.
And so I wake up around like 9, 10. But I was always like the type of person who works at night, wants to
Okay, yeah.
wake up later in the day. So I was always like this. Um, unless I have to wake up in the morning to work or to study or go to class or whatever, but I don't have to do that anymore. Um, so I start my day late and I try and get some exercise. Like I think your program, whatever you like, the mindset that you teach, that kind of got me into the habit of um, giving taking some time to like self reflect, practice gratitude, all of those things. So I make sure that I have time for all of that. For me, the thing is like the process. Yes, I've identified my 80/20, and I know the things that I can avoid, that I don't have to obsess over anymore, because they're not going to get me the biggest results.
Yes.
But also the thing is like when you've published 10 books, the process becomes like you just become more efficient at it. It doesn't take me as long to format anymore, to send my arcs anymore. So it just like you just become faster at doing things, and then you know what you need to do and what you could avoid. So I mean, I'm just doing the usual, like I'm following the process, and I'm writing, and then I'm co-writing and all of those things. But I definitely have way more free time than I did when I started, and that kind of, I mean, I think I need to get used to that, and it's also, I think, a good sign that things have gone well.
Yes,
I'm not
definitely.
struggling anymore.
For sure. And I was encouraging you, like, I was encouraging you before we started recording today to even get that work time even more concentrated, get more efficient with it, and expand that free time, even if it makes you uncomfortable, and sit with that space and that free time. And, and you'll get some clarity on what you should be doing with that time, whether it is, learning more about something else, or you doing more self-care, or spending more time with family, friends, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a good quote unquote problem to have. I was like, oh, I have too much free time. Yeah, that's great. And so now, in reflection, what are the top 3 things that you feel have contributed most to your success? Because I mean, it happened so fast for you. It was 6 months to 19K revenue, which is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was telling my mom that, it happened really fast, but those few months when you're just like in the hole, you're spending all of this money, you're not getting a return, you don't know what you're doing, you're doing something wrong, but you don't know what it is. So people tend to give up during those initial months, and they start letting negativity creep in. Um, so I think trying to overcome that and just sticking through that time, and knowing that this is part of the process, and just toughening up was the most important thing for me, because I could have easily given up. And yeah, 6 months like seems like a short time, but when you're like, the initial period just feels so long to you when you're going through that, and it's so nerve-wracking. But you need to kind of like have that belief and faith in the process, in yourself. And I think that was the number one thing for me, because I could have totally given up during those initial months.
Right.
The second I would say is mentorship. For sure. I feel like, if that's the thing, like when I found you, if I hadn't like found you, or like a way, like a proof, success leaves clues,
Yes.
There's a way to do everything. There's a way to hit USA Today bestselling list. There's a way to hit or meet all your goals, and you learn from people who already know what you want to do, and that's the most efficient way to get where you want to be, instead of wasting more time, wasting energy. Just leads to more heartache if you're just trying to do everything by yourself. So I definitely think that you, other successful people in the group, people who are my friends now, it was very valuable. So I think that would be number 2. And that's number 2 because if you don't have belief, then any of these things, any number of resources, the best program in the world is not going to help you.
100%.
Number 3, I would say, is the ability to pivot and to just learn and change, instead of just getting attached to one way of doing things, especially in an online business, in an online world, when Amazon is involved, that you need to change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've been in this space for like less than 6 months, and I've already seen a number of changes,
Mm-hmm.
different ways of doing things. There's no one way to do anything.
Right.
And so you have to find that path, like you make your own twist to everything, and like find your sweet spot to doing things, and just have the ability to change. Like,
Right.
don't get attached to one way or one thing.
For
And
sure. Yes, I think that's key as well, as having that flexibility and that adaptability to changing conditions. Because we don't have control over some of those things. You always need to be able to change and adapt, which is amazing because, people in our group or private members group have been with me there since 2015 and have been successful for so long and have just been able to adapt and change. So yeah, definitely key. And so as far as your success now goes, I mean, okay, let's talk about a few key things. Branding,
yes,
right? Huge.
Mhm.
So that's so important. Niche research you already talked about. And as far as marketing goes, paid advertising, right? Facebook ads.
Yeah.
It's and I mean you've done some AMS ads as well, but
I haven't, honestly, I've not gotten the hang of AMS ads, and
yeah.
I do plan to dive into them at some point, because I just feel like at the end of the day, I mean, right now I wanted to focus on one thing and get like good at Facebook ads, and then try AMS ads instead of like just doing both things together.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, because I am getting better at Facebook ads, I'm going to try and get better at AMS too, like just try to understand it more.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely feel that at some point, if I don't take advantage of that, it's a waste, because it's a resource, it's there. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think there's some shortcomings about AMS ads with reporting and whatnot, but I can't totally dismiss the platform.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's no secret either that like Facebook, I'm a huge fan of Facebook ads too, and can see the amazing abilities to target and reach a massive audience there, and I've seen how that's been so instrumental in your success too. So
It's very sophisticated.
yeah, definitely. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for getting on the call with me. And any last words before we?
Well, it's always fun chatting with you.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like I'm very fortunate to find this program and meet the people that I've met through you, all the resources. Just this opportunity, like it's just so incredible, and for me especially. I mean, I've always wanted to write, and just to be able to do this every day is a blessing. And so,
amazing.
Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, you're welcome. It takes like two separate halves in order to find success in here. I gave you the training, provided you with that foundation, and then you're the one who took the action and you learned it and you focused it and you showed up to every single group coaching call beyond your group. You kept coming to all of the group coaching calls, group after group after group, which is so awesome. And all of that really pays off. So thanks again, Sue. Congratulations. And I'm so excited to watch your progress going forward.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.